Hey, Tony Gassens here. Now, I want to teach on this right here because although this is a unique example, it still is a type of curse, I would call it, that goes on in men. And they had that show, kids say the darndest things, and it made me think about men do the darndest things, the dumbest things. And you got the NBA player Zion Williamson, who was what we call a freak of nature, not in a disrespectful way. My daddy didn't know what that meant when I was in high school and I got interviewed for the newspaper, and they asked me about my cousin, and I was like, he a freak of nature. My daddy got offended, but that's what Zion was. And just really just a guy who in high school, he with his family or whoever he lived with, jumping out the gym, like balling, just crazy. They like next LeBron James, LeBron James, LeBron James. And then went to college. So athletic and big bodied and strong, went to step and foot went out the shoe, came out the shoe. And I think he went to Duke, I think it was, and did his thing. Came out the college, went to the NBA, New Orleans Pelicans, and that's when it got bad. I'm sure it probably was happening in college because you're getting a little money, you got freedom. And once again, what we talked about with that pornography, I would say you have that situation where you get caught up and you get into a situation where you're going to have all this time, all this freedom, you got all this opportunity, but because he got into that corn, it warped his brain. It warped his brain. It changed the way he thinks. It changed the way he sees women. It changed the way he believes, the way he moves, to the point that he doesn't even want a non-sex worker. Like, he want somebody that is filthy. He wants somebody that's filthy. And that's the thing, what you have to be aware of is out here, and to the men, that same mindset will come upon you, and you won't be able to be in a normal relationship. No woman will be good enough for you. No woman will be freaky enough for you. The woman that he was with, I think they say she showed a pregnancy test and she just outing them. She talking about, I let you spit in my mouth last week, which just is disgusting. And that's why I was telling y'all, that's how I found out. Well, that's what made me believe that the Pastor Mike Todd deals with pornography, because he did that spitting scene to his brother's face in the pulpit where he hawked the loogie and rubbed it in his brother's face. And it was just kind of so graphic and so unnecessary. But that's what happens. Because I'm going to tell you something like this right here. No regular brain will ever do something like that. And that's your brain on corn. And that's what I'm trying to help y'all understand, that the intentionality about raising your sons and your daughters and putting guardrails around them, and when they of age, having talks with them and helping them understand this stuff will warp your brain. It will ruin your life. And so here Zion Williamson is. The boy too good for them to cut him for sleeping around with these streetwalkers. And that's SW, streetwalker like workers. And so the boy too good, but guess what? He's going to get older. He's going to get bigger in his weight. He gonna get heavier. He gonna get sloppier, and they gonna cut him for the off the court activity. Cause now what it shows them is we paying you millions. We paying you millions. $40 million. $40 million. $130 million contract. This thing say $40 million a year. $39.4 million fully guaranteed for the 2025-2026 NBA season. That's right now. And the young lady that he slept with, old streetwalker, she showed a Zelle that he sent her for $2,000. She really getting messed over. Man made $40 billion. Not include endorsements. Man probably bringing home $25 billion. And she got a little raggedy 2K. And was down bad. She was down bad too. When he sent her that 2K, she had $680. And no offense, because I know some of y'all like, I ain't got that in my account. Listen, none of us do. But the thing is, it's bad on her because she showed it to the world and because she's a streetwalker. It's like, how you is a broke streetwalker? But the thing about it is the picture that they showed of her online, so one of y'all sent it to me, the picture they showed of her online, she looked dirty in the picture. Like she looked like, and I don't say that in a derogatory way, I mean literally she looks dirty. Like she's in a thong, sitting down with her legs open. The picture from the back, you could see booty cheeks. She got $2 tattoos, and her skin, the booty looked like it got, boo-boo residue. Just like it just I'm like, huh? Like what the world? Like what y'all got going on? And so I probably ain't gonna be able to find it. Oh, here it go. So the app did it. And I ain't gonna show the picture. So the young lady, he in a house. It's a another OnlyFans model exposes NBA star Zion Williamson for potentially being her child's father. Let's play a game. Who's my baby daddy? He probably not her child father. And then she show a picture of him and another guy, and then the baby in the middle. The baby look like she could be any one of their father, but it's the other guy, because the baby got the other guy same nose. And women always have their daddy nose. She got the other guy nose and kind of got his little cheeks and everything. And she showed where he sent her $2,000, Zelle transfer, confirmation number, Zion Williamson. So didn't even send it from a burner. Didn't even send it from the assistant Zelle or the manager Zelle. Sent it from his Zelle. One of the wire. She put one of the wire from Zion Williamson. Ma'am, that ain't a wire. That is a Zelle. And then it say $2,000, and it got her balance $2,608.92. Ma'am, you supposed to black out your balance. So that's how slow she is. She ain't even black out her balance on there. And was down bad when she got that 2K. And then she put, here's my receipts. I wasn't with Zion. I wasn't with Jimmy. I don't need the clout chase. I was silent for 3 years. Is now that I want to talk. Hashtag Zion Williamson. Hashtag Dope Chick 69. Hashtag Jimmy Smacks. I'm not gonna stop until they give me a DNA test. So she want a DNA test from both of them, she's saying. And then the gossip blog got her a picture on there. And again, this what I'm trying to tell y'all now. I'm gonna cover this up. I'm gonna cover up the picture. Okay? I'm gonna cover up the picture now. But what I want you to do, y'all forgive me. I was just about to pick up my phone. I'm gonna cover up the picture now, and I'm gonna show you the lashes. It is what y'all be wearing. Got to go. Got a quick little call. Okay, my bad about that. And nah, here go. I can't show it to you because I ain't got my phone on do not disturb. But let me tell you, she got the lashes on, the long lashes that curl up. And that's what I be trying to tell y'all. When you put those lashes on, you enter her class. So now a man look at you just like he look at her. He look at you the same way like he look at her. When you get them long caterpillar lashes, that's why, because what do a regular woman have? She's going to have more of a classic volume. You can have on lashes. It just can't look like you got on 10 women lash all combined to one. And then she on here tattooed raggedy. The picture got a smell on it. So she in a thong. The picture got a smell. It's like, what the world? And so the woman that is saying, the other woman who mad, Mariah Mills, who was previously involved with Zion Williamson, has reportedly reached out to Tony Busby. I'm mad he got my name. To file a lawsuit of her own after the athlete was recently accused of R and A. Everyone deserves a chance to be heard. Now she's talking about everyone deserves a chance to be heard. And it say, yikes, Zion Williamson hit with a lawsuit accusing him of the R and the A and the K. But the KN with the napping. The K with the napping. Woman says he called her a stuck up cuss word because she didn't want to do it with him. Then he R word held a loaded tour and hit in the head with a car door and more on different occasions. So now listen, for one, because of the woman being a porn worker, you can't really believe what she's saying just because of that. So it's like, if you would do that, and because she's so messy online and she come out and she say all this stuff and then say she called him out for getting his girlfriend pregnant despite them allegedly being intimate recently, and she say I warned you about trapping type HOs, and she added him, and you don't listen to me. I know the game. F you and congrats again. The bill was too high, so you had to scrap for crumbs when you couldn't see me or I was busy. I was with you last week in New Orleans, and you couldn't tell me you had a random thought pregnant after all I've done for you. I don't know what all she could do for a guy who make $40 million a year. Like, what are you cooking? Like, what all did you do? The man made $40 million a year. The man could buy your birthright from the government. It's like, what the world? What are you talking about, woman? I let you so many times without protection. This what you do to me. A hood rat that does CPNs. And y'all know about those CPNs now. I don't know what it stands for, but it's new Social Security number, I think. You put my life in danger, messing with all these HOs raw. And then when she say, I let you spit in my mouth last week when we was together, and you could have told me you had another such and such pregnant. How was that going to work? Both of us moving to New Orleans. You think I wouldn't have found out? You let that such and such finesse you is why I'm angry. She 29 with an adult child already. I know what comes with being a basketball player girl. I know there will be other women, but didn't expect you to get these such and such pregnant. And she at him. Then it say the adult film star Mariah Mills posts positive pregnancy test amid drama with NBA Zion Williamson. So I'm guessing she's saying she pregnant, but it's like you don't know what to believe on that stuff. And it could be an old picture that she had that she done took, and could be an old picture and she reusing it, and it could be real, and that might be why she is outing them. But look at that now. That's what I'm trying to tell you right there. Because when you take and you do that right there, and you deal with those women, think about it. This man got this big name. He out here in the world. And the crazy thing about it is nobody turned their back on him. I saw one of my followers on Instagram post a picture with him, calling him little bro. And, all that. Like, he got people that love him and care for him. But they don't talk to him about the real, or he don't listen to him, one or the other. And he came in the league after I stopped speaking to the NBA rookies every year. And I ain't got the guys in my classes that I spoke to doing what he doing and getting outed like this. They took out the real speakers and brought in like doctors and people like that who don't really know and understand the real and can't really talk to these guys in a real way. And somebody that they could respect and see that we done been out here and been wild and dumb, and they could hear the message and respect the message. And so they getting out here and they doing this type of stuff. But you got to remember what the root of it is. The root of it is the corn. So on the community page, and I think I added it to, no, I ain't added it yet to the YouTube, to the description box. Sign a petition. Sign a petition for OnlyFans to put them some tighter thing. If they asking for donations on there and all that, don't donate. Because I think I seen that one time on the thing. Don't donate no money because I don't get to use it. And so sign the petition. And I'm going to put it in the YouTube description, in the description box. But please, sign that. We're going to keep on signing that thing. And I'm going to promote it for years till I get 1 million signatures. And just sign it. Because here go the thing. It's crazy because here we are living in this world and this is what's happening. And yeah, he grown. It's on him. He did that and all of that. Yeah, we understand that. But at the same time, it's younger men who don't know no better, who ain't got that kind of money. And these diseases getting passed around like club flyers. And so we got to realize and understand that. And I'm adding in here now. I'm gonna add it on in here. It's gonna say sign my petition. So I'm gonna put it in the description. You'll see it. Because this is the thing. It breaks my heart. Like, I'm so hurt. If you from the NBA, man, y'all give me a call. I'll be the player mentor for every team in the NBA. Y'all give me a call. I work around the clock. These guys could text me and call me. Long as they ain't ask me for no money, I talk to them, whatever they want to talk about. And you say that's crazy, right? But yeah, they go broke. Athletes go broke while they playing. Actively while they playing, they will go broke. I don't understand it, but a lot of it have to do with these women. They be dealing with these women, and these women charge $1,000 to $2,000 an hour. And so if you're gonna spend a weekend with them, these guys will end up spending $30,000 to $50,000 for a weekend. I done had women show me the receipts, and they blow through that money. And it's crazy because it's like what I'm learning about sports is that the sports, just like the record industry, They do not care about these young men. They know they come from either being spoiled rotten like a brat because of their skill, or they come from absolute poverty, broken homes. They come from all kind of stuff. You know, being a foster child, being adopted, being like a lot of these black men were raised by a white foster family who the family had a son who could barely walk and chew bubble gum at the private school, and they take in the star kid and they let the star kid live with them because he come from a broken home. And so them parents, they just letting the boy do whatever he want to do because he finna be a superstar, and that's not their child. He of a different race. They probably could have used to been racist too. And so they really don't care. So they're not finna get no life lessons or put them with a mentor like myself. They not finna do that. So what they gonna do, just, hey, live here. We gonna feed you. We gonna take you to the stuff and all that. And we get to show up to your NBA games, be your Blind Side story, like the movie Blind Side. We get to be your whatever and all that right there. And just like with the Blind Side guy, he come out and said that they did him wrong and they stole his story and they ain't paying him and all that right there. And that's what some of them families will do. And so a lot of these guys don't know. They don't know no better. But the same thing is happening on a everyday scale. Y'all remember the site before OnlyFans? It used to be the site which OnlyFans, they watching. These men is watching this stuff. So if you meet a man and he into that corn, if you got a second option or a third option, if men approach you, if my dating app is out and we got some quality on there, I don't know, it could go to trash too. You know how people run stuff in the ground. But it's like, we're going to give it a shot. We're going to see. But think about it. If you got another option, man, let that man go. If that man tell you he's struggling with that corn, let him go. I'm here to tell you, let him go. You got to move on with your life, because it's one of those things to where you will be tore up from the floor up. And they used to have a back page. I never visited the site, never went on there, never booked a woman. But I remember we'll be in the barbershop and the barber, he's sitting there like, yo, man. You know, it was another barber, not my current barber, even though he was in the barbershop. But it was another guy who used to cut my hair. And he used to talk about that back page. Yo, man, hey, boy, had me one last night, boy, $50, boy. Woo, do everything, boy, $50. Yeah, they end up shutting the site down. And I remember my homeboys and all that, they used to be on the road. They drive trucks. They'd be on the road on that back page, hiring a woman in every different city, hiring these women, $25, $50. And that was like the real deal. That was like, but they started doing the sting, started arresting people. People started getting in trouble and all that. So now they got OnlyFans where you just watching it. But the thing about it is, these women, they have accounts. They have Instagram. They have TikTok. They got Snapchat. They got Twitter. And so these guys go and message these women and let them know, hey, this me. And I'm watching you on this here thing. I want this right here in real life, in real person, live in the flesh, real in living color. And so the women, they like, oh, instead of getting a few dollars from them like this, $3.99 a month, $9.99 a month, let me go get, boom, thousands in one day. And they know these guys is not good with their money. So they know they could get a G-Wagon. They could get some other kind of Benz. They could get, thousands of dollars. They could get Chanel purses. And these women will get this stuff, and then they'll go on the resale site, the Real, and these other sites, and they'll resell it and put that money in their pocket. Don't mess around and give them a Birkin. They'll go resell it because they don't need it, because it's fakes that look just like it. It's knockoffs that look exactly like it for a picture, or when you just walking by somebody, nobody can't tell the difference between them A-grade knockoffs and the real deal. So why have a $25,000 bag when you could go sell it and get that $25,000, pay up your rent for a year at $2,000 a month downtown in your high rise, and in a city that, a little cheaper, but pay up your rent for a year or half a year and you good. Then get on DH Gate and order you to fake, and then pose your picture from the side and this like this, where you just see a little piece of the purse and you can't tell that it's fake. And so that's how these women cashing in. And some women, because they went through so much at a young age and they was turned out at a young age, it's like, I might as well. They thinking like, I might as well use my body and sell my body to get ahead and get money, with the hopes that one day one of these men gonna love them. They be hoping that one day one of the guys gonna settle down, be with them, let them move in, they get the playhouse, get the be wife or whatever, and just be the full-time, sat down, laid back, former streetwalker who now get to be the one. And here's the thing, what's happening in the real everyday life, men is now starting to get addicted to this stuff. And then some of them is going and meeting with these women too. If she got a smaller following and all of that right there, or they going to the strip club and they meeting with those women, paying those women, getting them women to do stuff. And it's because they watching it, they looking at it, they indulging in it. So I'm gonna tell you this, if you're a woman watching this, if you're a man, you're nasty, you need to change your life, you got to grow up. Come on, talk to me, you need some help. We'll come up with some kind of plan. If you're a woman, do not ever let your man go to the strip club. If you meet a man and he's a strip clubber, let him go. Let him go, because he's into uncontrollable, unquenched, untamed lust. You have to let him go. If he's into corn, you have to let him go. Unless you want a life of misery and pain and complete uncertainty, never knowing when he's gonna up and leave you pregnant, like Elijah McDavid, who is a pastor. This is a pastor who can't control his lust and leaving his wife while she pregnant. What you think a non-pastor gonna do? What you think a man who ain't never talked to God, who ain't never worked for the Lord, who ain't never knew the Lord, what you think he gonna do if he can't control his lust? He's gonna do the same thing. And I'm telling you, if you know Zion Williamson, tell him, I ain't gonna judge you, bro. No, actually, I'm to be honest with you, can't even talk to him, because once they get out there that bad, that's a psychosis. I don't even know if that's the right word, but that's a psychosis. It's nothing could change them but God. Nothing could change them but the Holy Spirit. Like, I don't even know if we got nobody on the earth who could pray that good, pray that hard, or that close enough to God to where God gonna move. Like, God will move for them. He gonna have to cry out to God and say, Lord, take this away from me, heal me, strengthen me, help me to lead these street walkers alone, and convict their spirit and heal their heart, and Lord, bring them to you. Like, he gonna have to do it. Now, I could talk to you now. I could give you some. But it seems like beyond repair. But I'll talk to you now. We'll work. We'll see what we could do. But I know his mama probably, or somebody, auntie probably on here, know who I am. Y'all have the boy reach out to me. Have the man get with me now and set it up. In the NBA, NFL, NCAA. Because listen, it's NCAA, meaning college. It's college players that is paying $1,000, $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 an hour for these street walkers. Yes, in college. And it end up coming to me, and I find out when these women get ready to change their life. Then they come to me and we talk about it, and that's how I know about it. And me, I ask them the names. I can't ever repeat the names, but I ask them the names just because that's how I do my case studies and my research. So I'm able to go and look at the guy, and I'm able to see, what do he look like? What's his complexion? What's his hair like? What's his teeth like? What his lips like? What his nose like? How tall is he? What's his history? And I'm doing just like in criminology, how they, before we had DNA and fingerprinting, how they would take and classify you by your bone structure, your face structure, how your forehead, how big your forehead is, your jawbone, and all that. And they would try to predict what type of criminal you are or were by that bone structure. So I'm able to kind of classify. So that's why when y'all talk to me and you send me a picture of your person, whoever, whatever they is to you, that's how I'm able to read them, the men. That's how I can read these men, because it gets to fall into a line, and it start to be just the studies end up don't line. That's why the theories become laws after the studies, after the field study, the experiment, the theories become laws. And so that's what you got to realize. And so once you see that right there, so that's what you got to realize right there now. And you have to pay attention. And now people is saying, I don't know how true this is. Well, I'm like, y'all gotta think about it. Y'all saying they say 90% of the people on OnlyFans is married men. That's not true. That is not true. This is how I know it's not true. Yes, it's probably a lot of married men on there, but nobody gonna select married. Nobody putting that they married when they sign up. There's no way for the software to know that they married. It's all, if the software could just know that they married, and the software is not going and searching their marriage certificates. So y'all got to realize that a lot of times this is, it's propaganda from Satan to attack marriage and make people think that marriage is broken and that marriage is extinct and marriage no longer. But I know it's married men on there, but here's what you got to understand. It's a lot harder for a married man because his wife knows his passcode. His wife know how to get in his phone. His wife know how to get into them bank accounts. It's a lot more sneaky. It's a lot harder. And all of that right there to get away with it. And so you think that the millions of single men is just sitting out here twiddling their thumbs? No. It's way more single men on OnlyFans than it is married. I can guarantee you that, because you got to realize how marriage work. You with somebody 16 hours out the day, 14 hours out the day. Like, your wife finna be searching. She finna be looking through the email, looking through the phone, looking through the credit card statements. Yeah, you could go get a gift card. If they let you sign up with a gift card, you go do that. But what's done in the dark gonna come to the light. And one guy, he asked, do you think that the married men is on there because of sexless marriages? No. The married men that's on there probably having more sex than anybody in the world, because that stuff is not real. Because it's not real, because the stuff not real, it takes, and you'll take, and when it's, because it's not real, it'll intensify their lust and it'll intensify their drive. So it's gonna make them want to take and do that to their wife. Little do their wife know, their wife might be like, man, this is amazing. Like, boy, we really be getting it on. And she might not realize that's why. That's why. Because for those of us who not into that stuff, we start to suppress our libido. we start to develop self-control to where if you're not feeding lust, it starts to weaken. And you can lust after your wife, but you love her and you're in love with her. So you don't need to have sex with her every day if you're not a slave to lust. Because once you fall in love, the laughter and the massage, the scalp massages and the pecks on the lip and the cuddling, it feels just as good and just like the sex. It's actually a greater high because you keep getting to go higher, 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 and there's no climax. You just go to sleep. So it's more euphoric to whereas when you're intimate with the intercourse, you go up, boom, climax, and then boom, you come down. It's over. And also when you fall in love, unless you've already had a release for the day or whatever, you literally, it could last 30 to 90 seconds. Whereas if you sitting and you cuddling or you talking and this right here, you watching the game might be 3-4 hours. You watching TV, you watching a movie, that's 2-3 hours. So when you truly fall in love as a man, you're going to learn what I'm talking about. You're not going to fall in love though if you watching that stuff. You're not going to fall in love. And as a woman, if you don't know what I'm talking about, then that may be because your man is watching that stuff. So it may feel good and it may be intense, or it could not be there, because some men, they will just get their release and they'll fall in love with that virtual person and then they don't do nothing. So it's never a one size fits all. It's never going to be one way. So never, understand that I never say never and I never say always, meaning that it's not going to be a one size fits all. It ain't going to be that. It's not going to be that. So that's what you have to realize. And once you get that right there, and you get that in your spirit, you start to understand that, and you start to realize and get to that point to where you could see and know what's going on and know the danger and the damage of that stuff. Now you can start to combat it. And I don't know what we're going to have to do, but we're going to do something. We're going to work. Y'all got to forgive me. So this is the thing. I'm gonna be explaining this stuff to y'all because the caveats and nuances, it can get deep. But this right here, what you got to understand, like what we see this young man Zion Williamson going through, all that is just addiction. The same way you have seen a drug addict or alcoholic, is just addiction. And because think about it, when somebody get addicted to alcohol or drugs, they know it's not good for the body. They know that they're killing themselves slowly, but they can't leave it alone. The crazy thing about this is the woman who is now outing him again and have reached out to the lawyer, Tony Busby. This woman has outed him before. She outed him before, and I thought that it was going to ruin his career. I really thought that the New Orleans Pelicans was going to get rid of him. But that just go to show that if it's not like physical violence, but now she alleging that, because I think she really trying to hurt him now. Because when you allege that and you say that, the NBA is a soft league. Like, it's not, it's a different type. They like, you know, they Disney World, they ESPN, like they have to acquiesce to public opinion. Like, they can't have you on the books if you are an accused user. So they not gonna want to. They gonna wait as long as they can, and they probably gonna have to make her prove it some kind of way. But because they paying him so much money, and it's guaranteed now, unless you do something like this. It's a clause in there. They probably got a clause in there, unless he said. But I don't think nobody will be crazy enough to sign that. I don't think the NBA lawyers will let them sign. I don't think an NBA team lawyers will let them sign something saying you got to pay the person even if they do something that's morally or a character issue that causes them to be expelled from the league or no longer able to play. I don't think they still gonna get a man $40 million or how much ever else they owe him if it's on him. So if she come out and they say like he guilty or they prove something or whatever, because if you look at it, Shannon Sharp, when he did the settlement, he got some of his endorsements back, but he didn't get. He got some of his endorsements. He got some of his endorsements back, but he hasn't been back on ESPN since that young lady made them accusations. And then the fact that he settled, it is to them, to ESPN, it's like an admission of guilt. It don't mean that he guilty. It could have just been he don't want to spend millions of dollars going to court and trying to litigate this. I would have went to court if I was him, if I was innocent, because he got more money than she got, and I think she would have dropped it, and he wouldn't have had to settle. But I think that he didn't want to spend that money, and he probably didn't want no more else to come out, because if he is guilty, he don't know what all she got. And the lawyer did say he had the evidence, and Shannon did say, you know, post the whole thing, then you post a little clip or you got a little clip that you gonna release, and they never released it on him either. So he kind of told on himself. And he say post the whole thing to put it in context. It's like, man, we ain't gonna come back from that, neither will your daughters if we had to see that. So I'm glad they ain't posted. But you see ESPN ain't brought them back on. Don't mean that they not gonna bring them on later this year or next year. Sometimes they let stuff die down. And so that's the thing with this, is like, think about it. Think about this now. That's how you know this is a sickness. So if you watch that stuff, I want you to realize, you know how they used to show us, here's your brain. Here's your brain on drugs. You got to really be smart about this thing, and you got to realize Zion Williamson getting paid $40 million a year and tricking off how he tricking off, that is your brain on drugs. That's your brain on the corn, on that corn. That's how it is. Elijah McDavid leaving his wife while she pregnant and cheating on him with the other woman, jumping on top of a moving car. That's your brain on the corn. Mike Todd spitting in his brother's face. That's your brain on the corn. Like Shannon Sharp doing what he doing with an OnlyFans model now. Mind you, Zion Williamson and Shannon Sharp dealing with OnlyFans models. Look at the guy, Cardi B, baby daddy. Stephon Diggs just got in trouble for some type of A word. Right there. That's your brain on the corn. Like, that stuff ruins you. Y'all got to look around. And for y'all women too. See, for women, I'm going to tell you what that stuff do to you. You watching that corn, I'm going to tell you what it do. It steals your essence. It steals your aura. It suppresses. So it's like you having a release. So now your glow, your femininity, that right there that pulls a man in, that attracts a man, you're releasing it. And now your spiritual husband is that corn. Your spiritual husband is that toy. Your spiritual husband is your fingers. And so when you are pleasuring and all of that right there, you repelling your husband because you are no longer pure. And you're letting Jezebels tell you that you need to learn how to explore your body. That is a lie from the pit of hell, because God tells your husband to ravish in your bosom. God wants your husband to explore your body. God wants you to respond to what your husband exploring, and you could talk to him and tell him, do this, do that. But it's not for you to be exploring. Because when you do that, now you come into a covenant with that toy, or with your hand, or with that corn. And that is a demonic portal for women as well as for men. And it just shows up differently. It show up differently. So y'all women who be getting into that stuff, that's why you end up having one night stands. That's why you end up getting on your bike within 2 weeks, within 3 months, within 6 months. That's why, before marriage. That's why, because you done got the feeling, but nothing replaces something with literal blood flow going through it. So you could get you whatever kind of thing you want to get off of Amazon, but that's not that right there. That silicone or whatever that is, plastic, whatever that is, that don't compare to God's creation. So, and because you got to realize God's creation, he also, that's a heartbeat. That's blood pumping. That's a caress. That's all of that right there. So that's why what that stuff does is a trick of the enemy, because it builds you. And although you have a release, you still not content. And that's why you got to do it more and more, because it's insatiable. You can't quench it. You just strengthening it and making it worse. You strengthening and making it worse. That's all that is. That's all that is. So you got to realize and understand that. Got to realize and understand it. Y'all forgive me real quick here. One of my mentees, Puerto Rican and Cuban, probably 20 or something like that, 20 or 21, something like that, maybe 20. His girlfriend is saving herself until marriage. So she has introduced him to Christ. And now he is reading his Bible and learning more about Jesus. And she's a pretty young lady, take care of herself, got the 3 Bs. They met somewhere, he said. Can't remember, restaurant or some type of event. Hit it off. And he literally coming closer to God. He come up to my office and sit down and talk to me about God. And growing and getting closer to God because she's a Christian and she's saving herself. And that's the influence that a woman can have on a man who is intended to be her man. And they under the age of 21, so they is not doing this for money. It's not a business deal for them. They ain't got no money. And so it's like, it's for them, it's about love. It's about a connection. It's about chemistry, compassion, companionship. And that's how it's supposed to be. So it's really like now, and that's what the Bible say, like if you got an unbeliever, don't leave them, because you could be the one that bring them to you. But that's different if y'all not believers and then y'all get together and you become a believer. Now, if you got the option and the choice, and somebody tell you an atheist or they finna lead a faith or something like that, yeah, go on about your business. But in this case right here, they young and, you know, got time or whatever they feeling, and they took and did that there. So that's what you got to realize. Y'all forgive me. Got to go anyway. 3 minutes. Got a coaching call. Got another coaching call back to back. Still got 2 more hours of coaching, and had a call get missed. Client missed a call, and you know it happens. But gave me the opportunity to film. I had to put my phone down, and I give a 15-minute grace period whenever somebody miss a call without us having to reschedule. And there's no charge to reschedule, so you can reschedule as million times you want to. It don't bother me because it give me a little break, give me a little time to get on here and film me a little video. And I'm hurting for the young man Zion Williamson. I'm hurting for the men who are not on his level financially and not in the NBA and struggling with that right there. So let's be just praying about it. Like if you're a prayer warrior, you're the type of person you pray every day. You got a prayer list. Put that on your prayer list, and let's just, every time we think about it, let's just submit it to the Lord in prayer. We ain't got nothing to lose. It ain't gonna hurt nothing, and it don't necessarily mean that something finna drastically change, but the Lord may touch your heart and the people you know and love, to help them come off of it, to help them realize it. And I'm about to get ready to wage war against it. Because I think that the same way as so many people talking about Christ now, so many young people and so many people reading their Bible and talking about it, I think that the more that we talk about purity and righteousness, the more people going to start to want to desire that. Because one thing about humans is, if humans think it's normal, then they're going to do it. But when humans see other humans elevating and going to another level, a higher level, they start to shift. And they start to say, hey, I don't want nobody else's life to be better than mine. I don't want nobody to have more blessing than me. I don't want nobody to have more clarity than me. I don't want nobody to have more longevity and success than me. So if this right here is hurting me and it's destroying me, hey, man, I got to do the right thing. I got to do the right thing. I got to change my life. And so that's how we help, by exposing it, talking about it, and we get it, get that together. But hey, this Tony Gasson. God bless you. All the important links in the description. Check that every day, every video. And still got the discounted sessions in there. And we enrolling for the Solopreneur Mastermind. Grab your spot when you get that tax return. Go on, hop on in. Build that business, build that brand this year. God bless you. We'll talk soon.